at 7:40. Police have confirmed the dog that mauled a 5-year-old girl to death was a type of pit bull banned under the dangerous dogs legislation. Ellie Lawrenson's tragic death has once again raised the issue of how to deal with potentially dangerous dogs.
Well, in a moment we'll be speaking to Bill Lambert, a breeder of English Bull Terriers, and Caroline Kisko from the Kennel Club. First, though, as Fiona Trott reports, when breeds like this are given up by their owners, it's almost impossible to find a new home for them.
The Dogs Trust in Sadburge, near Darlington. 35 animals were brought here in the past month alone, all of them unwanted pets, especially crossbreeds like these. Although dogs like pit bulls are outlawed, these types are still popular because they look dangerous.
Good boy. Quite a lot of it is because of status and image. People get them for the way they look, not for actually as a pet dog. And I think sometimes when they do get crossbreeds and they maybe don't socialise them properly and they keep them away from certain types of people, certain animals, and it kind of makes them more nervous and sometimes a bit more aggressive to those that they don't know.
Many of the dogs at Sadburge are bought by local villagers, but Bull Terrier crossbreeds are at the bottom of their list.
If they trained properly, I would think they'd be okay, but my opinion in this trade, I wouldn't have one in the pub.
Well, I think they're a bit vicious, those things, and they can, I think, be a bit of a problem sometimes, those type of breeds.
No matter how well they're trained, how much they're loved, there's always a risk. The history of the dogs has proved there is a risk.
Because so many dogs like Holston are brought to the kennels here because their owners think that they might be too dangerous, the Dogs Trust has now come up with the idea of retraining them and making them more tame so that there's a better chance that they'll be adopted in the future. But because of high-profile cases like the one in St Helens, the Trust is now concerned that fewer families will want to rehouse dogs like this in the future. Fiona Trott, BBC News, County Durham.
Well, Bill Lambert breeds English Bull Terriers and Caroline Kisko's from the Kennel Club. Good morning to you both. The Bull Terrier, we saw a sort of Bull Terrier cross there, Fiona's last pictures there. That's a dog that looks very fierce, but is in fact quite placid, isn't it?
Absolutely. Bull Terriers make very good family pets, but of course, like all dogs, they do need training and they do need responsible ownership and responsible breeders.
What is it down to? Do you think there are certain types of dogs that are more dangerous, for example, and why would we not have them on the dangerous, covered by this legislation if there weren't?
Well, I think the Dangerous Dogs Act was very much a knee-jerk reaction to attacks that were taking place at the time. But it has been shown over the years that breed-specific legislation actually isn't the answer. It doesn't work. The Dangerous Dogs Act is not working, otherwise we wouldn't be having this type of attack. What we need is something that actually addresses the problem, which is the people training their dogs properly, and that could be of any breed, not of specific breeds.
Well, but isn't it the case, surely, that there are some breeds which are much more dangerous than others, and the point about the pit bull, a lot of people say, is that once it starts to attack, you can't get it off, it doesn't stop.
Well, you could apply that actually to an awful lot of dogs, and it would apply equally to crossbreeds, to mongrels and to breeds. So, but I accept the fact that obviously some breeds have the potential to be more dangerous simply because they're bigger. If you were bitten by a Chihuahua, it wouldn't make an awful lot of impression, but if you're bitten by a giant breed, then you know about it.
Let's just talk about, with you, Bill, as well, the English Bull Terriers. I mean, do you find, you breed them, that more people are looking to have that type-looking dog because it gives them a certain type of image?
I think there's no doubt that some people want dogs because it gives them an image, but careful breeders and responsible breeders are very careful. They don't necessarily sell to those sort of people. Bull Terriers are family pets, and we look for families for them to go into.
And what about if you did have somebody who I mean, do you literally not sell a dog to somebody who you think is not going to look after it?
Oh, absolutely. We would never sell a dog to, or any responsible breeder would never sell a dog to somebody that they weren't absolutely sure could look after the dog properly and knows what they're taking on, because different breeds require different things from their owners.
If it's all about the owner rather than the dog and about training, should we be thinking about licensing again and a new form of licence?
It would have to be a very new form of licensing because obviously in the vast majority of cases we know who the dog belongs to, where a bite occurs. So licensing wouldn't achieve anything except another level of bureaucracy and more tax, to be honest. I think what we need to see is greater training for owners, but we do need to see...
But how do you enforce that? Because
Yeah,
people who go voluntarily for training are obviously more responsible
Of course
dog
they
owners.
are.
It's
Of course
the
they
ones
are.
who won't do that that you
Absolutely.
need to fine.
What we would like to see is a new version of the Dangerous Dogs Act, which actually requires that people do go and take their dogs for training if there is any risk surrounding a particular dog. So if a dog is of concern, is highlighted to a local authority, as the dog was in this tragic case, then the owner would actually be required to have their dog trained. But equally importantly, we need to see more help for kids, to train kids how to stay safe around dogs. And the Kennel Club has a scheme, a Safe and Sound scheme, which actually helps kids to know exactly how to behave and stay safe.
Yes, I mean, the problem is with what happened to Ellie was this isn't a private home as well,
Yes,
and there is no
exactly.
legislation which covers that,
Absolutely.
is there?
The Kennel Club has been working with a number of other organisations, including the Met Police, the veterinary organisations, Dogs Trust and so on, to try to develop a new draft to replace the current Dangerous Dogs Act. And one of the things that we want to see is that legislation should apply in a private home as well, so that a dog that is a worry is controlled in those circumstances.
And Bill, particularly, what about crossbreeding? Is there anything that can be done? You know, these breeds are bred between other dogs. What can be done about that?
Unfortunately, there's nothing to stop anybody breeding a crossbreed dog of any type. However, it's up to the public. The public need to buy it, go to proper breeders, responsible breeders, go to the Kennel Club, get advice from there, and they'll get advice on what sort of breed is right for them and where to go to get those dogs.
OK, thanks very much, Bill Lambert and Caroline Kisko. Thanks very much for joining us here, and I'm sure lots of people will send us emails as well. Thank you for that.
Just we've been discussing